bring on Katie. Yeah, so you want to talk about something with who? Angela?
Malik. I'm very upset with you.
Hey Katie, missed you.
Hi.
What you got?
Also, can we also thank God that Andrew left? Like, let's be honest. Okay.
No, I love Andrew.
I actually loved Andrew, like, at the start of this debate, and like the more he talked, like the more he pissed me off. Great guy though. I thought he was amazing content.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not here because he would have completely derailed what I want to talk to you about. So here's the thing, right? And so quick question, so I'll know where you stand on this. You said that you think guys, it's like their own fault that they're that suicidal or whatever, that they have rising suicide rates, right? But then in the first section, you talked about gender roles and how gender roles are important. Now, whether gender roles are because of biology or nurture, the only way we can affect how people are is through socialization. Do you agree with that? Because we can't change people biology.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. So I think that you can't both support gender roles that make men's life shitty and bad and make them suicidal, and then blame men that it's their fault that they're toxic and suicidal. You know, it doesn't work both ways. You need to pick a side.
Yeah, but I
there.
never said that. I never said that.
You
I
did.
said that I think gender roles. I said that gender roles are extremely important for society. Biologically, genetically, men are better at doing certain things and women are better at doing certain things. And I think to dismiss that is absolutely stupid and will just inconvenience and make everything worse for everyone. And it's men's fault that men are depressed and not okay, because in most societies, in most fucking households, when you have a little boy, his father, all his friends, all his peers are telling him men don't cry. Men go to the gym, men work out. If you're sad, like hit the gym, like work out. Men don't cry. It's gay to cry. It's gay to talk about your emotions. It's gay to be depressed. Soy boy, go kill yourself. Go.
Yeah,
That's what men say to other men.
Yes,
and they have no
support system. I don't know how true that is. Like, okay. I've never
with
in
younger,
my family.
With older men, it's not so much, but with younger men, like Destiny stated before, like under the age of 25, that's extremely prevalent.
I think maybe
younger man goes to another man for support.
Alex, I waited so long.
Wait, sorry, I was just gonna say this. I think maybe online that could be true in certain communities, but I think in like real life, like
I'm talking about in real life. I have 7 brothers.
Maybe we just have.
I'm surrounded by men in my personal life, and I see this shit all the time, and it pisses me off.
One, younger men are not the issue. Older men are the one who are killing themselves in droves. So whatever you want to talk about younger men, sure, it's an issue. It's not the biggest issue.
Okay. But the reason why older men are killing themselves is because their whole fucking life they were raised with this mentality that they are alone. They have no one to fall back on. They have no emotional support system. They're a man. They need to toughen up. They tried it their whole fucking life. They've made it to 40, 50 years old, and it didn't work out, so they kill themselves.
I agree with you. So here's the thing, because maybe I'm misunderstanding you. When you say gender roles, do you just mean the fact that men work at certain jobs? Because that's not what gender roles are. The reason why men and okay, so when we talk about gender roles, there are many reasons, biological and socialization wise, why men end up in certain jobs or do certain roles like leading or protecting or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And the reason why that socialization comes hand in hand with the toxic stuff that you don't like that makes them want to kill themselves. When you base an entire man's value on their ability to lead and protect, and then they fail at their duty, they off themselves, or more likely to off themselves, because now they have no value. But that is the price of the gender roles that you're supporting. That's the issue.
I literally stated multiple times, a lot of the issue for men's depression is their fucking ego, because they base their value on fitting into societal standards and societal norms. And I think that's extremely toxic, and men should not do that.
Okay. So we should have...
Alex, I love you, but I have to leave,
all of my points.
Okay. Destiny, you want to really quickly plug your channel?
Yeah, real quick. Instagram, YouTube, Kick, Destiny. Love you guys. Be careful. Bye.
Take care, buddy.
Okay. So I don't mean to frustrate you, but here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the reason why like men are when you're saying men shouldn't fall into these negative social like socializations, they are happening because they are part of the package. So you can both say like gender roles are good. Gender roles is what we teach to young men, is what we teach to kids. So are you saying like they should keep the good part but reject the bad part? Because I'm saying they come together.
Okay, I think teaching gender roles. I don't know what you heard or interpreted how I stated the topic of gender roles, but I think that a man's role is to generally be the leader, be the grounds, be the building bricks of the building, hold everything together, be the stability, whatever. And I think a woman's role, which, and I'm not saying people have to, I just think like generalizing it, a woman's role is to be more nurturing, be more supportive, not to necessarily take a leadership role. Again, they can switch, but I just think women are better at being supportive, being loyal, nurturing, and men are better at taking a leadership position. And in addition to that, um, just because a man isn't a leader, like it doesn't mean he has no fucking value. Like I don't think that like anyone should base their value off of fitting into a gender norm.
Okay, so is it possible that you think gender roles are a bit more so people will just naturally fall into them? So is your objection to gender roles is like when people have an issue with gender roles, is it that you feel like they're telling people don't go with your nature? Is that how you feel about it?
No, I don't give a fuck. I think it's stupid to push an agenda where gender roles don't exist. That's
So you're saying
what
it's elective. Is what you're saying is this like an elective thing where like you don't have to be, but you should, is what you're saying?
Okay.
No,
Sorry,
I'm
are
not
you
saying
asking me, Angela?
you should. I think you should do whatever you want, but I think for people to try to twist how society's structured around men having specific roles and women is dumb. Like I don't think if a woman wants to be an engineer, she can be an engineer. If a man wants to be a nurse, he can be a nurse. But to say, oh, we should just abolish gender roles and just say that, oh, everyone can just pick what they want to do and like shit will work out, I don't think it's a very intelligent thing.
But that's okay. So if you're saying if a woman wants to be an engineer and a man wants to be a nurse, that's fine by me. But then your next sentence is, but if everyone just picks whatever they genuinely want to do, that's going to fuck up society. So that doesn't work that way.
Did you say that, Malik? Because that's not what I heard. But
What did
No,
you
that's
hear,
not what I
Alex?
said at all.
Okay. Do you think people just fall? When you say society is constructed a certain way, I think gender roles exist, and why I think gender roles are bad is not because I don't think men can be construction workers. Men would most likely continue to be the majority of the construction work, even if we abolish gender roles. Abolishing gender roles doesn't mean that people don't do stuff that a lot of people from that gender end up doing.
what does
roles is
abolishing gender roles mean exactly? Can you explain that?
well, it depends, but in my well, it depends who you ask, right? By my understanding, like abolishing gender roles has to do, so gender roles come with gender expectations. So a gender role means that you are expected to do certain things once you're a part of a certain gender. You have to fulfill your gender.
No, I understand, but how do we abolish that?
How do we abolish that? Okay, that's different from what is abolishing it. So how do you abolish gender roles? So the idea is that if you believe that gender roles and gender expectations are to do with socialization, then just promoting a more egalitarian society and fighting the patriarchy is part of the way to abolish gender roles. So
So
how do you fight the patriarchy?
So this is like, so basically, I'm just trying to visualize. Do we have the government like making ads saying like, "Hey, you can be a great male nerd," like going against like the gender stereotypes? Is it just ads? Are we talking about legislation? Are we talking about like how are we doing this? Because I feel like this is it's like saying like we abolish laziness. It's like, okay, how do you abolish laziness?
So the reason, the biggest disagreement between what me, you and Malik probably agree on is that I think gender roles have a lot less to do with like essentialism, biological, than what you guys probably think.
Yeah.
So I think that social conditioning is a lot more important in determining what a person is going to choose to do. Destiny thinks a similar thing.
But do we have the government? Do you have the government
Okay, so
train,
I'll answer that. No.
get laws about like how you can raise your kids?
No, so if we're talking about governmental issues, we are just pushing for an egalitarian society. But an egalitarian society, as you guys discussed in the first topic, is not what you guys said. Egalitarianism is about equality of opportunity, meaning everyone has the opportunity to do what they want to do. So, for example, Alex, this isn't relevant to the first world, but just to give an easy example, a lot of girls in third world countries don't have access to school. That's going to make it incredibly difficult for them to become engineers or nurses, right?
I understand, but like, okay,
Okay.
let's say I make you president, dictator, you have supreme power in the U.S. What do you do to abolish gender roles?
If I get to abolish gender roles, I would just probably increase more funding into education and more proper education in terms of like giving more equal opportunity in schools, because there's a big
There
issue with
already is
that.
equal opportunity in school. That's
So
not
just
there's not.
society.
wait, is there
No,
anything
there's
more
not.
to than increasing the funding for education, or is that it?
Probably just maybe awareness campaigns, but in terms of government interference, I don't think that's more that's something I'd necessarily support. I think most of what abolishing gender roles is it's a social issue that people need to be comfortable with. But increasing proper education for both men and women, because now men are also falling back in some ways, so like making education more appropriate for the disabled and otherwise would do a lot, because the disparities that we see in certain professions is related to education, I believe.
Well,
Can I ask you a
that's
question,
largely
Katie?
changed in the last like 10, 15 years, where education has become very PC, generally speaking, in public schools. But at the end of the day, even if like we significantly increase funds for education, that's not going to even play a substantial role in changing gender roles, right? You would need to like literally do some heavy legislation where it's like every company has to be at least 50% women, or if you get caught telling
No,
your
that's
kid that
no,
what
no.
right, but it's something that a lot of people
Like, there's no
believe.
logic based behind your statements, Katie. Like what you're
Explain.
suggesting is not feasibly possible. And this
That
is
doesn't mean it's
somewhat
not
off topic,
logical.
but not really. Okay, so the reason why gender roles cannot be abolished is because of, if you dumb it down to nothing, it's survival. Say what you want to say. I don't give a fuck. Men work. Men kill themselves over work pressure. Men kill themselves over financial, because men have to work. If men want to survive, they have to work. If men don't work, they will literally starve to death and die. Okay? A woman, I don't give a fuck what society you are in, there will never be an instance where a woman has to work to survive, because a woman can always take the easy way out and find a rich man to take care of her. Men don't have
You
that
should.
option. If men want to live, they have to
Mhm.
work hard. They have to financially support themselves. A woman, as long as she's not like a fucking whore who's destroyed her entire life, she will always be able to find a man who is willing to take care of her.
Yeah. You should talk to some Black women. They might disagree with you.
One of
But,
my closest friends is a Black woman. Thank you very much.
You should talk to more of them, like homeless ones, maybe.
Why?
Wait,
Are you
wait,
Black?
man! I thought I was your best
What?
friend, and I'm not a Black woman. What the fuck?
No, I mean, and Destiny's my best Black friend, but no, saying you should talk to more Black women, I actually find very offensive and racist, because you're insinuating that that's not an option for Black women. They're not worthy of a men supporting them. That's what you're insinuating, which is extremely racist.
let me help you. I think that
No,
what
no,
you
no.
said is actually really vile and awful and like
No,
shows
that-
such
that-
a privilege.
I stated that no matter what the situation is, a woman will always be able to find a man to take care of her as a last
Yes.
resort. And you said,
Yes.
well, talk to black women because black women aren't worthy enough of a man supporting them. That's what you
All right,
said.
No.
That's what you insinuated.
let
No,
me,
Alex.
it's my channel. I'm not, just real quick. Let me bridge the gap really quick because both of you guys are somewhat right. Yes, it is scientifically proven that dating is harder for black women. However, I do agree with Malik. Even a black woman can find a rich dude to take care of her because
Can I now answer?
But you shouldn't have to say even a black woman. Multiple black women can.
At least in a first world country. I don't know about third world countries, but first
Can
world
I
countries.
now answer
absolutely.
for myself?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So, Malik, the issue is that I don't subscribe to your very silly privilege notion that women are deserving to be taken in by rich men. There are simply not enough rich men. A lot of women don't want to be taken in. And whether they are black women or indigenous women or just some white women, a lot of women have to work to survive. And I think maybe you just lack a little bit of reading on this.
You completely
But no, I get what you're saying, but I think that's such like a huge like fallacy to say that because there is a huge decline in masculinity in America.
No matter how
So
ugly you are as a woman, no matter
Yeah,
how
but
fat
if a
you are as
guy-
a woman,
but
no
if a
matter
guy
how
himself-
undesirable, there will always be a man who is willing to take care of you.
Yeah, if a guy can't even
This
take care of
is
himself,
bizarre.
how can he take care of a woman? Like with the way that we're discussing about the men's committing suicide and the rate that men are just falling behind. So if you can't take care of yourself as a man, and we continue to say that men should be leaders, how can you be a leader of your own life and then take care of me when
Okay,
you're
I'm
failing
not
as a
talking about the
man?
men.
I can quickly explain that. Number one, because these guys who are like funding these girls, they're not just funding one girl, they're funding like 6 or 7 girls. So that's the first thing. And
Okay,
the
but we're
second
talking about attractive girls. What about atrocious women that look like Whoopi Goldberg that are
That's what I
average
there
women?
said.
there was literally a video that of this girl that came out who's like 350 pounds, and she talks about how she makes like thousands of dollars from Tinder from guys just literally sending her money for like the chance to see her like feet pics. Like even
super niche guy.
girls,
I
if
don't
they
know.
want to go
It's
down
not
that
niche,
road.
no matter.
But the difference is
You
most
guys are
women-
using the
most women
worst.
choose not to go down that road, but they can if they want to.
Alex, there are statistics for this. First of all, there are not enough men in America that can support themselves, let alone support another human being.
It's a small
Secondly,
percentage for men.
if there were, you are basically saying that I don't even know how we got to this point or why it's relevant, but that somehow women have it, they don't need to work because they could basically
Women have it easier.
prostitute them. Yeah, okay. They can basically prostitute themselves out to a rich guy who would finance them.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a
I never
horrible
stated
idea,
that.
but I think it's a horrible idea. I'm just saying they
I
have
stated-
that option.
Yeah, men do not have men's option is survival. That's it. They don't have a backup option. A woman can either choose to work for herself and support herself, or she's got a plan B. That shit doesn't work out. She mentally can't deal with the pressures of work every day. I don't care how ugly you are, I don't care how attractive you are, a woman will always be able to find a man willing to financially support and take care of her.
In a
I
first
disagree.
world
always.
country.
That's
disagree.
okay that you feel that way. Feelings are valid, I guess. Like,
So I will
this
back
is
up
not-
Katie when she said that you should speak to black women. As somebody who grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, there's a lot of black women who have baby daddies who are not in the child's life, who don't even take care of their kids, let alone taking care of the women. She did put out and she failed and it sucks. And I think it's so I don't know, cliche or something to say like men will just take care of women if she just puts out and just provides her vagina. It's not that easy. These guys like it's
Angela, but
struggling.
no one is saying it's all men. It's a small percentage of men.
Okay,
But
I never said it's easy. I never said it's easy. But it's also
the single mother picked the wrong kind of guy because there are absolutely guys, even who will take care of a single mother, right? A small percentage of men. But the thing, what they're doing is they got like 5 or 6 different girls that they're like paying bills for because whatever. So yeah, like she just simply picked the wrong type of man. Unfortunately for her.
Alex, you're talking about this extreme example
and
of a girl
typically
that has a
single mothers are
rotation.
picky.
No, competence.
No, but
Anyone that had a daughter would not want their daughter just pick a guy who can just simply provide a roof over her head, but beats the shit out of her,
Okay,
and like we'll figure it
but
out or
Angela,
something.
It's a
but Angela,
trade-off.
that's not my point.
It's
Whether or
a
not it's smart or intelligent, whether it's smart or intelligent, whatever. I don't care if you're a single mom. I don't care if you're an ugly woman. If you are a woman, you have two options. You can either support yourself and fend for yourself in your own survival, or you can find someone to take care of you. Men do not have that second option. Maybe there's some women who just have it that fucking bad that they can't, but most women, most average women, do have that second option.
Yeah, I agree.
I disagree with
Alex, so when you agree with that, do you have any reason? Because I know it's Malik's feelings, but do you have anything other than feelings to agree with that?
Yeah,
I
I've
see
done
it
a
as
lot.
fact, not a feeling.
I've done a lot of experiments.
I don't think you know what facts are.
I've done a lot of like experiments on this channel. I would create a profile with like a 400-pound girl, and I saw the kind of conversation she was having. I've done a lot of interviews with girls on the podcast and like what kind of offers they have. And yeah, pretty much every single girl, even the really fat girl, even a really old girl, has guys who are trying to simp for her, who are willing to give her money for her attention. So,
Alex,
do
next
you think
experiment, just do a
there's-
black woman, because apparently Katie says they can't get anyone.
have I ever done a black woman? I don't remember.
Do a black
Yeah,
woman, and in the
Alex,
bio, I have a
so
kid, single
the
mom.
I mean,
point-
dude, it can't be worse than my mom with AI on her face where she looks 80 years old and she looks like she's literally a corpse.
Again.
Alex, I think that the fact that you couldn't even tell if you ever interviewed a black woman kind of proves my point that if you're going
That
to
was
use
not
your
what I stated.
data of research. Okay, I'm gonna finish talking now. Thank you. Okay, so I think that if you're going to vote at like point at your collection of interviews as some kind of data point, we should probably also discuss the fact that there's some selection bias in who you get to interview and the kind of population you might be attracting and might be aware. But I welcome you to go out. What city do you live in? Maybe go
Miami.
out. Okay, Miami. You should go to some other places. Talk to some people who probably don't know who you are, don't know your show, and see if you get similar results.
Most of the people I interact with don't know who I am. I'm not that famous. Do you think like black women are incapable of like finding guys to simp for them? Is that your
okay? I understand that you guys are like.
I'd actually like to invite a black woman to this debate panel.
Oh Lord, I think that it's turning into like a severe race thing. Like there's
it's a disgusting.
I don't see this as a race thing or a color thing.
It's not like a race thing. Like for example, like Alex, you're in Miami. I'm in Miami.
No,
I understand
Katie's
the demographic
making
of
it that.
Miami. Yeah, but like we're talking about a racing like as somebody who was raised in like poverty. Like there's a different person, a black girl raised in the projects and a black girl raised in Miami. It's completely different. So her experience of a guy probably catering to her. We've seen the girls on Saucecast. Like look at the type of girls, the black girls on those shows. They don't.
Also, her level of attractiveness obviously will play a big role.
I'm going to say this, even though I don't think Malik has the ability to understand what I'm talking about. The reason why I brought up a black woman is because from a feminist perspective, I'm talking about intersectionality. Now, intersectionality is a certain concept that when you're talking about women, it's very clear that you're talking from a very privileged standpoint, which is fine. We are all privileged in some way. However, there are some demographics who are not necessarily capable of living up to the standards that you're now saying that all women can do this or that. I'm not even sure why it's relevant, but let's say that that was true. Yeah, just talk to some poor girls. They don't have to be black.
Well, I've talked to plenty of poor people. So, do you think that black women cannot find a guy to simp for them?
No, that's not what I think. I think that a lot of women cannot, should not, and will not look for a guy to simp for them.
I agree. Part of it, they should not, and they most likely will not. And I think that's good. If I had a daughter, I would tell her, don't fucking find some dude that's going to simp for you. I'm just, what Malik is saying is that they have that option. I don't think me or Malik are saying it's a good option or they should take that option. We're just saying that the option exists.
Okay. So, first of all, I'm sorry. I said
good.
so. The option doesn't exist for everyone, statistically. But even if it did, the only reason to say that in the first place is because Malik wanted to say that women have it easier or that men need to work harder and be a survival mode or
do
whatever.
have it easier than men. I'm sorry that you look, as a privileged white woman who is privileged enough to have these opinions and speak for other races that you're not. I don't know how you can sit there and say women have it just as hard as men.
I didn't say that because I'm not busy and competing between who has it harder and simping for guys and being a pick-me, right?
Well,
so I don't need to do that.
You can smirk and smile and call me a pick-me all you want for stating a
Okay.
fact.
What fact?
The fact
Mhm.
is that men, by nature, by society, by whatever the fuck, are forced to fight for their own fucking survival or die.
Okay. So do you know what
Women-
capitalism is?
Yes, I know what capitalism is,
Good.
Katie.
Then you should know that we all are forced or to
No,
die
we are
under
not.
capitalism.
No, we are
That's
not.
okay that you feel that way.
No. I'm sorry that maybe no man wanted you, and you're projecting that a lot of other women have this issue. Maybe it's because you shaved your head. I don't know. But just because you may not feel as wanted by men in the world doesn't mean that men don't want women who maybe are not attracted to them. Maybe your standards are just too fucking high. Like maybe these single black women that you're advocating for who never fucking asked you to advocate for them have their standards too high in your hypothetical fictional scenario. Like
Are you
trying to
Okay.
keep my composure because you're pissing me
You're
off
doing really well.
so much by
Mhm.
your absolute fucking delusion. Keep chugging that Coke. That's gonna make men want you more, by the way.
I'm not busy with making men want me, Malik. I'm not like you. It's okay.
I don't want men to want me at all.
Good luck with that.
I am very happily single right now.
That's good for you.
I don't need your luck.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
I know, okay, Katie, I'm sorry if you're like insecure or whatever, but like Angela knows this. I know this. Most women know this, okay? And Angela, if you disagree, you can get to disagree. I choose to wake up every day and work. That is a choice I make. I choose to wake up every day and work. Most men have to work. I mean, yes, there's specific scenarios, but most men have to work. If I wanted to wake up one day and say, you know what? I don't want to work anymore. I want to be a stay-at-home wife. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to find a sugar daddy who will just take care of me. And I drop my standards to absolute fucking nothing other than like find someone to take care of me. I don't care if they're fat, ugly, have a million bodies. I don't care if they have a mental disability, STD, whatever. I drop my standards to nothing. My only standard is they have to be able to take care of me. I could find a woman tomorrow. I could find a man tomorrow. Angela could find a man tomorrow.
That's great.
And I wouldn't have to work another fucking day in my life.
I'm going to
Angela, what's up? Yeah.
Right. So again, this is Malik, like, and everybody, I guess everybody comes from a different perspective, a different point in their life. Malik, you stream, you had the opportunity, it's elected for you, that's great. As somebody who was forced into fucking child labor, I didn't have a choice. And then where I grew up, I also didn't have a choice. If I depended on the men around me to protect and provide, and to just sleep with whoever, I'm pretty sure I'd be knocked up with like 10 babies right now and not in the best place in life. So we can say all day long that somebody would take care of us. Based on the girls that I grew up with, they didn't have the best outcomes. I'm going to go off of my own anecdotal experience. That's not an option. Coming from someone who was in Tampa and went to Miami, there's a huge different lifestyle. And what you guys speak on, it sounds like it more aligns with that there's a certain privilege that women have, that you have to be beautiful, whatever, that you can get this. And even if you look atrocious or fat, you're exchanging it for some nasty blowies that you have to possibly do in exchange for these things, for the quality of life that you may even have to sacrifice. So if that's the bar for a relationship, then sure.
Angela, I think you misinterpreted my point. I'm not saying it's circumstantial.
My biggest issue with
Go
your
ahead.
point is like I said, I think it fits for your life. So maybe the bar what you set it for, but for me, I just don't see how realistic that could be. Being that I understand like Alex's example of like women that were unattractive on the dating apps who were able to do that. Again, the mindset to even create a dating app to find someone to take care of you already says that you're not in a deficit state of mind to even do that. Someone that's in a deficit place in their life does not think, let me go make a Tinder account to find a man to take care of me. They're already working a 9 to 5, probably have no time to shave or raise their kids or live or go to the gym or even look like they're in the dating market. So I just don't see how this is like, aligning with reality.
But
But-
Angela, you have to acknowledge if you were to create an account on seekingarrangement.com, you can make pretty fucking good money with doing minimal shit. Like you meet up with one of these old geezers once every 2 weeks, maybe give them like a hand job or something like that, and then they have $5,000. I'm not saying it's not a good option. I don't think you should do that.
It's
Just
not a
you
good
could do it.
option, but it is.
Alex,
Like you missed my entire point, Angela. Like my point was, yes, it's not ideal whatsoever, but women will always have the option. And like I said, maybe there's some unfortunate woman who's it's going to be a lot harder for. Maybe they're overweight, maybe they have issues, maybe they're ugly,
But there's-
whatever the fuck. But most
Right.
women do have a second option. They don't have to work. And like I said, this is if you drop your standards to absolutely nothing, you take the ugliest guy with a million STDs and who's 80 years old and about to fall over and die, who just wants a woman to be with him, like, and will support you to be that.
I'm going.
Are you planning to get married, Malik?
Legally, no.
Okay.
Okay, Alex,
Yes.
I'm gonna say it like this. If the threshold, if I'm sorry if I misunderstood Malik. If what Malik is saying is, if you want to do some type of prostitution, you will find clients to support you. And she calls that not doing work. Then yeah, I don't have a disagreement. I think anyone could prostitute themselves and they will do fine in life. That's okay. We can discuss that later. I disagree, but that's okay. The point
That's
is
the whole point. That's literally my whole point. Is
okay. So
it's
your
the
point
one-sided
was
option.
okay. So your point was if you want to do prostitution, you don't have to starve.
And I didn't say prostitution. Well, why are you saying? What if she gets married to that man and stays with him for the rest of her life? Like I didn't say prostitution.
Okay, the reason why I'm saying,
well, I mean,
She's
the guy
saying
would
it's a
only
spectrum. Prostitution is part of the
sorry.
spectrum, but there's other,
no, the spectrum that she's trying to paint this picture that these women can go and find a guy who will take care of them and maybe they'll be their boyfriend and they'll love them. Most of the women who would have to, most of the women who would be in this type of arrangement that she's talking about are women who would have to be prostituting themselves from the little blowgies every once in a while that Alex said. Alex understands this. So it's prostituting yourself. And yes, for the vast majority of women that you're saying have this option. And of course, everyone has the option to sell their bodies and get some money out of it. I consider that work, and I consider that like basically letting yourself be raped because otherwise you'd starve to death. I don't consider that not working and having an option. If that's what you meant, I apologize. Yes, we all have options.
Okay, we're not debating sex work and what constitutes being a whore or prostitute. Like we're not debating that right now. I don't know how you can.
No, we are.
If Angela right now, tomorrow morning woke up and decided I never want to work another fucking day in my life. Obviously, that's unrealistic, right? However, if Angela buys a one-way ticket to some country in the Middle East, finds a 50-year-old single divorced old dude who just wants a woman to be with and promises he will take care of her, even if he fucking fucks her and dumps her, she will find another man who will support her.
There's that's such a
I will give you my camel, baby.
I don't
guys,
understand
those are
that.
so extreme. I just don't see how we continue to say if that were the case, there would be no broke women.
Like,
And
yes,
then on
that's
top
not
of that-
ideal, but it is
no,
an option.
No. But like, it's not a realistic like statement.
And
of
why
what
would you
you
present
can't
that
even,
option?
You can't even fit it in society because if that were the case, then we have the argument of like women pick shitty men. There's so much shitty men.
This
but
happens
we should
all the
just let-
time.
But
She would
Angela,
All the
present-
time,
Why
women
do you
run
have
down
to-
the street and become
if that were
prostitutes.
a lot of women just don't want that, which is totally understandable. But
She
a lot of
presents
women,
the option because she wants to say that men have it easier than women. That's the only
Men have
reason
it
why
harder.
this was brought up. Yes,
yeah, I think
sorry.
you're saying it's gonna have a
That's the
harder.
reason.
Well,
No,
men
I
have
said
it-
it's part of the reason.
No, you said every day, all the time, women just go out and become prostitutes, get with old 50-year-old guys, and that's it. We're good. They're good.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. They
So
do.
so if I walk in my door right now,
Yes.
after 10 o'clock at night, I'm just gonna see stream women just run down the line, picking up old men and just be
If
living
you
happy.
walk,
well,
if
there's a
you
small
walk into
percentage
the
of women
city,
who are
if you
doing
walk
that.
into a populated area, if you walk into a populated area,
New
find the
York.
skankiest crackhead on the street, tell her you'll pay her
Pennsylvania.
$10,000 to suck your dick. She's probably gonna suck your dick.
crime
Who's
watchers.
offering $10,000?
Prostitution
What
is an
states is these?
Look,
This
it's a
is
Okay,
small
I'm-
percentage. It's
I'm
a
coming
small
up with an
percentage of people.
extreme,
No,
bro.
it's a small percentage, but she's making it seem like it's every day. And she said a big city. So let's name big cities, right?
Every day this
Miami,
fucking happens.
California,
Every
Los
day this
Angeles,
happens.
Nevada,
How-
New York,
How
Pennsylvania.
delusional are you?
Let me know.
How delusional are you to think whores aren't a thing? To think women don't
No,
sleep
I know
around
there's
to
a
get
thing,
things?
but you are
Maybe it's a free
delusional
meal.
to think that because every day in a big city, I walk out the door and women just throwing out, men is throwing out 10K to women and just saying, hey, you know
I
what?
didn't say
I'm hot.
every
I'm pretty sure I'm
day
just gonna go
they're
there
throwing out
daily.
10K for a blow.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. Let's go off the premise of whores. Okay, if whores are a thing and they're giving someone a blowjob for $10, why doesn't that man just adopt her for that $10 and just have free
Facts.
blowies for the low? Like,
Exactly.
They have.
It
No, I'm
happens.
just saying that's you think a crackhead wouldn't say yes to a roof and a man that says, "Hey, just give me a blowjob"? But the thing is, he doesn't want that crackhead. He has that option. He doesn't want her. Everybody's just as selective. It's not that easy for us to
Okay,
say
but
that
what if
women
he's
have the
ugly as
option.
fuck? What if he's ugly as fuck? He's fat as fuck. He's diseased as fuck, and no
That's why
woman
he's
want to
getting-
be with him. He's
That's
gonna
where the
lower
10K
his
come in.
standards until he gets the
That's where the
crackhead
10K
skank
come
down the
in.
street.
We've solved poverty. It's just all those ugly as fuck men who don't have sex go
Freddie
and pick
Mercury
up the
died for
homeless
this.
women.
This is what Freddie Mercury died for. I can't. I fucking can't right now.
And Angela, what was I gonna say?
Alex,
It's-
we're agreeing for once. This is shocking.
a lot. I know. Like a lot of this stuff is not logical. Like if you look at
No.
like sugar babies, like it's really like you're paying. I've heard so many stories. A guy's paying a girl $10,000, $15,000 a month. They hang out with them like once or twice a month, and that's their sugar baby.
That's a
That's
small
the-
percentage
okay.
of
It's
sugar
the
babies,
worst
and
deal
that's a
ever.
small-
You get a prostitute who looks exactly the same for like 500 to 1,000. You're getting ripped off. So a lot of this stuff is not logical. It's just like bad dating / sugar baby /
Not everybody
prostitute.
on a sugar baby site has money. It's a
Correct.
competitive market, also just like the dating market. The top whores get the top dudes who pay all the money. All the rest of the whores are the very bottom, which also they'd be slim
20,
picking for
40,
everything.
$50 in the street corners. Let's talk about it.
These guys
You talking about
cannot-
10K.
they can't. There's no way. I
Some
don't.
do it for
Angela,
$5. Some do it for
any-
free. Some do
Okay,
it for a
I'll
fucking meal
I'll
at
put
the
it
local
like this.
Mexican
A
restaurant down the
girl,
street.
any girl who's not deformed or obese can absolutely find guys that'll pay her a good amount of money on seeking arrangement, and she will do fine because that website is so overloaded with men. The ratio is so bad. Yeah, she can get $500,000 per hangout. She
Yeah, but
can
wasn't they
get-
saying this? Hold on, wasn't they saying the same thing about OnlyFans? But a lot of girls at the same time were saying, "Oh, we don't make that much on OnlyFans." That's a farce. Only the top 3 people on OnlyFans make this much money. So again, it's a small percentage of.
I think
women
OnlyFans
get
is
the
a little
number.
different.
I
Yeah.
also have a question. What do we do with like poor girls who don't have computers?
They're gonna have to do some.
Okay.
Ask
back
Malik.
alley
She got to
deals.
know all.
No,
don't
no,
need a-
because
You don't need a
there are
computer.
options. Okay, so
If
they
you're a
don't have an
homeless girl on the
iPhone.
street, literally have nothing but the clothes you're wearing on your body, you're homeless on the street,
Mm-hmm.
you can find a man to take you in.
You have to work.
Yes, it's
work
gonna
your
be
way up.
20 times harder to
No,
find an
Alex, she
internet.
said it's
If it was
easy,
that
guys. You're wrong,
easy,
guys. Malik said it's easy.
I didn't
You're
say it's
gonna-
easy, but
you're
it's
gonna-
possible.
Okay.
That's the
It's
conversation
possible.
you're having.
Listen, this is
Not
what you
even
have to
an
do.
option for a homeless man.
You
not
have
even a
to
fucking
find a
option.
nerd, suck his
Shut
dick for a computer, and then kind of go
Here's
up.
the thing, Alex. This is what
Okay,
frustrates-
Katie, I will prove my point. I could literally find you a man. Yes, I have the internet as a resource. I could find you a man tonight who will take you in and pay for every penny of the rest of your.
No.
I could find that in the
Use
next
your life. You
24 hours
said
for you, Katie.
shirtless, no computer, walk out the door now.
No. Okay. Yeah, but I
can
didn't say you can find in 24 hours on the street. Katie,
You didn't give a
right
time
now,
limit.
if you never want to work another fucking day in your life, I could find a man for you. Your hair is even
I-
shaved off. Most men don't want that. But I could
don't
find a
need
man
to-
for you, a desperate,
Malik,
lonely man
Malik,
with money.
I
who
will
would take you
admit,
in.
Malik.
I will admit, there's always
Malik.
going to be a man that wants to fuck you, but I highly doubt there's going to be a man who wants to provide for you. So if we're going to distinguish the two, yes, they're always going to smash you because they
Right.
have raging testosterone and all that shit going through them. But we cannot conflate the two and say they're going to provide and protect and take care of you.
Okay, Malik, thank you for watching
I didn't
out
say
for me.
protect. I said provide.
I have
Isn't that hand in
disabilities,
hand?
so I'm never going to work a day in my life. I'm set. Thank you. Alex, the reason why you
No wonder
and
why you're
Malik-
so fucking. It all makes sense. Never mind.
Yeah, it's okay. She's being ableist. It's okay.
Oh.
I'm not
yeah.
being ableist. I'm saying you don't fucking work. So how do you have opinions on work life and gender roles in the workforce when
Yeah,
you don't
but you're
fucking
not
work
married and you're
yourself?
trying to give your opinions on every other woman outside,
I'm
especially
not being
black women.
ableist
You're
at
not
all,
even black and you're
excuse
talking about
you.
black women.
Can I, Alex?
I didn't
the
bring a
reason
black
why-
woman. I said it's
Oh
offensive.
Brought
my
it up once
God,
in the
you
debate,
are
and
I
then
said
when
it's
Tate brought it up,
offensive.
All right,
For her to say black women
let's
are
not get in. Okay, wait.
No.
Let's let Katie ask her question. What's your question?
My
It
bad,
was a
Katie.
quick- you're good. The reason why you and Malik actually disagree is because you're making a slightly sillier point than she is making. She is
Oh.
basically saying that women can prostitute themselves on the street too. You're saying there's a select amount of men who have a lot of money who will spread that money around on all the homeless hoes, basically, is what you're saying. And like that's even more silly than like
I've
at
learned
least
you can't
she's
listen.
right.
I've actually
Well,
learned
well,
your
I-
hearing comprehension is so
At
fucking
least-
low, Katie.
Let me explain
At
why
least-
it's not silly.
At least she's right in the sense that women can prostitute themselves for profit. I guess.
Let me explain why it's not silly. So first of all, add the caveat in first world countries, because you are right. It is a small percentage of men. However, most women will not engage in that behavior, right? So as is, since only a small percentage of women engage in that behavior, if one more girl, like for example, the
Oh, I
lovely
see what you're
Angela
saying.
or Malik or Katie, added herself to the list. But yes, if every girl was to take that option, then my whole ideology would fall apart. But that's not what's happening currently. So that's
I
I'm
gotcha.
looking at it from a micro perspective.
Yeah, that's fair. Like if we're just talking about like the already super tiny majority of women who don't want to prostitute themselves, is like, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.